It's Tuesday, July 14th, 2026, and thousands of independent restaurants just got handed what is basically a silent death sentence.
Yeah, it's completely under the radar.
Right, because usually, when a business crisis hits, there's a lot of noise. The stock market plunges or a supply chain snaps in half, and everyone sees the wreckage.
Oh, sure. It's front page news.
Exactly. But when it comes to the digital infrastructure that holds up small businesses, the biggest crashes are, well, they're entirely soundless. So today, welcome to the deep dive. We are tearing into a recent TechCrunch breakdown that exposes exactly that.
It's a massive issue.
It really is. It's the impending shutdown of GloriaFood, which is this massive online ordering platform that quietly runs the back end of, your favorite local takeout spots. We're going to figure out why this digital rug pull is happening and, decode the actual survival playbook for businesses caught in the blast radius.
And I think it's important to state right up front that the stakes here go far beyond food delivery.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the collapse of a platform this ubiquitous, it's really a masterclass in the dangers of cloud reliance.
Yeah.
Even if you've never worked in a kitchen, if you use cloud software, which is literally every single person listening to us right now, you are vulnerable to the exact same mechanics we are about to discuss.
We are talking about the illusion of free software, right?
Yeah.
And the brutal reality of who actually owns your data. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the platform itself. Because GloriaFood wasn't just some niche widget.
No, not at all.
For years, this was the invisible backbone for so many independent brick-and-mortar spots.
What's fascinating here is how deeply embedded this technology became by solving a very specific, very urgent problem. Because if you look prior to 2021, and especially during the pandemic lockdowns,
Oh man, that was chaos for restaurants.
absolute chaos. They faced an existential threat. They had to transition to digital ordering literally overnight.
Yeah.
And building a custom application from scratch, that costs tens of thousands of dollars.
Right, and it takes months of development time. You don't have months when your dining room is forced to close.
Exactly. So GloriaFood offered a lifeline. It was a robust, completely free online ordering platform that a restaurant could deploy in a matter of hours.
So they basically democratized the digital storefront. You didn't need Silicon Valley venture capital backing just to get your neighborhood pizza place online.
They did, and they built a massive, massive user base because of it. But, that success made them an incredibly attractive acquisition target. So in 2021, the tech giant Oracle bought GloriaFood.
Right, and for a while it seemed fine, right? The standalone product continued to operate as usual.
Yeah, on the surface. But behind the scenes, the classic technology acquisition lifecycle was playing out.
Which usually means the giant corporations start stripping the acquired company for parts.
Pretty much, yeah.
They take the underlying code, they integrate the best features into their own premium enterprise-level products, and they let the original free version slowly wither on the vine.
The mechanism is quite predictable, honestly. Because maintaining a standalone free platform requires server space, security patches, customer support infrastructure.
It's not actually free to run.
No, it's incredibly expensive. So when that platform no longer drives the core business strategy of the parent company, the financial incentive to keep those servers running just drops to zero. And according to the TechCrunch source we're looking at, Oracle has officially called it. The standalone GloriaFood product will be permanently shut down on April 30, 2027.
And reading through the material, what really stands out to me is just the complete lack of fanfare.
Yeah, it's very quiet.
There is no grand transition plan offered to these small businesses. It's just a hard stop on a calendar. When April 30th hits, the ordering widgets embedded on thousands of restaurant websites will simply break. Menus vanish. The data pipeline stops dead.
It highlights a foundational flaw in how most small businesses view their tech stack. They mistake access for ownership.
It makes me think of living in a fully furnished, gorgeous apartment that you got for free.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
Right. You live there for 5 years, you hang your art on the walls, you invite your friends over, and it really feels like it's yours. Then one morning, there's a slip of paper taped to the door. The landlord is bulldozing the building to put up a luxury high-rise, and you have to leave. You never owned the walls or the plumbing or the foundation, you just lived inside them.
That analogy hits the underlying technical reality perfectly. Because when you use a free software as a service or SaaS platform, you are essentially renting space in a multi-tenant database.
A multi-tenant database, yeah.
Right. Your customer data, your menu items, your sales history, it's all stored on Oracle servers, mixed in with thousands of other restaurants, separated only by a digital partition. So when the landlord decides to demolish the server, your digital existence just goes down with it.
But wait, let me push back on the timeline here for a second. Because the eviction date isn't until April 30th, 2027. We are sitting here in mid-2026. A busy restaurant owner is working 14-hour days, dealing with, fluctuating food costs, managing staff turnover. To them, April 2027 sounds like an absolute lifetime away. So why is the TechCrunch article screaming at them to migrate right now? Like, why not just wait until January after the holiday rush?
Because waiting until the system starts actively degrading is operational suicide. The illusion of time is the biggest trap here.
The illusion of time.
Yeah. And the TechCrunch post actually breaks this down visually with a really compelling graphic. It shows a notepad with a migration checklist. Things like inform customers, migrate data, explore alternatives, update integrations. And it's sitting next to a smartphone that displays the core pillars at risk.
Right, I saw that.
We're talking about online ordering, menu management, integrations, and analytics. You cannot migrate that level of complex architecture over a weekend.
Because you aren't just copying a Word document. A digital menu is a highly complex relational database.
It's incredibly complex. Let's just look at the mechanics of a single menu item, say a custom burger. In the database, that burger isn't just a name and a price. It has nested modifier groups. You've got meat temperature, cheese options, add-ons. It has conditional logic. So if you choose a gluten-free bun, it adds $2. It has tax routing codes. Moving that data to a new platform requires exporting it into a raw format, mapping it to a completely different software architecture, and literally rebuilding the logic from scratch.
Wow, so it's like trying to translate a highly technical manual from Russian into Japanese, but the two languages don't share the same grammatical rules.
That's exactly it.
You have to manually reconstruct the meaning of every single sentence so the end user doesn't just get a completely garbled mess.
And that translation process takes weeks of dedicated labor. Furthermore, you have to do this while the old system is still fully operational.
Because you still have to take orders today.
Right. And if you wait until early 2027, the GloriaFood API, which is the software bridge that allows you to extract your data, might be deprecated or malfunctioning because Oracle is naturally diverting engineering resources away from it.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. So if you wait until the last minute, you might literally be locked out of your own filing cabinet before the building even gets demolished. You just lose the customer order history entirely.
Which is the absolute lifeblood of modern marketing. Your customer order history dictates your loyalty programs, your targeted email campaigns, your seasonal promotions. If you don't extract that data now, you are starting your business over from zero, digitally speaking.
So staying is impossible. The demolition is scheduled, and waiting means you lose the furniture. That forces the ultimate question. Where do these independent restaurants go? Like, what is the actual structural alternative to the burning building?
Well, the source outlines two distinct architectural paths for this migration. The first path is moving to a commercial SaaS provider.
Okay, another sauce.
Right. This means finding another tech company, paying them a monthly subscription fee, and migrating your data into their walled garden.
Which feels a lot like moving out of one rented apartment and just signing a lease with a different corporate landlord. You're still vulnerable to the exact same cycle if this new company gets acquired in 3 years.
Which happens constantly in the tech sector, as we know. Now, the commercial SaaS route does offer convenience. They usually provide dedicated onboarding teams to help you translate that complex menu database, but you sacrifice ultimate control.
Right.
The second path, and the one the TechCrunch article heavily focuses on as the sustainable solution, is open source architecture.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because the article specifically highlights an open source platform called Enatega. And this isn't just like a basic web form. It is a full-stack, enterprise-grade ecosystem.
It's very comprehensive.
Yeah, it offers native iOS and Android apps, a centralized restaurant dashboard, and even a dedicated delivery writer app. Best of all, migration is free, with zero setup fees. But beyond the price tag, what makes open source fundamentally different at a structural level?
It comes down to where the software lives and who holds the root access. With SaaS, the software lives on the provider's servers. With open source software like Enatega, the source code is freely available. You or your development partner take that code and install it on your own independent cloud server, like AWS or Google Cloud. You aren't renting space in a multi-tenant database anymore. You are spinning up your own isolated database.
Okay, so sticking with our real estate analogy, this is the equivalent of buying a plot of land, taking the blueprints for a house, and building it yourself. You own the physical structure, you hold the deed.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Holding that deed is the single most critical defense mechanism a modern business can have. Data ownership is no longer a luxury. It is a foundational requirement for survival.
Yeah, it really is.
Because when you host an open source system, nobody can artificially raise your monthly subscription fees. Nobody can gate your features behind a premium paywall. And most importantly, nobody can suddenly announce that your platform is shutting down in 10 months. You control the infrastructure.
But let me play the skeptic again for a second.
Sure.
To a chef who spends their day, sourcing local ingredients and managing line cooks, spinning up an AWS server sounds like absolute science fiction. Does this open source route actually make sense for a small business that doesn't have an IT department?
That is the primary hurdle, absolutely. But the ecosystem has evolved to solve it. While the core code of something like Enatega is open source, there is an entire industry of deployment partners and managed hosting services that will handle the technical backend for you.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to be a coder.
No, not at all. You get the benefits of a managed service, but because the underlying technology is open source, you retain ownership of the data and the freedom to change hosting partners whenever you want without losing your platform.
Oh, I get it. It's like hiring a property manager for the house you own rather than paying rent to a landlord. If you don't like the property manager, you fire them, but you still keep the house.
That is the exact dynamic.
Okay, so the restaurant owner is convinced. They see the writing on the wall, they want to own their data, and they are ready to build their own digital house. But reading about a grand tech migration and actually executing it on a busy Friday night are two completely different realities. How does a business pull off a move of this magnitude without dropping real-world orders and bleeding revenue?
The TechCrunch piece provides a very rigorous sequential survival playbook. It breaks down into distinct phases, and the absolute first phase, and I cannot stress this enough, is the extraction. You have to audit your existing setup and export every byte of data out of GloriaFood immediately.
Step 1. Audit and export, because as we established, that data is a ticking time bomb.
Right. You are pulling the CSV files of your menu items, your customer databases, your historical sales data, and your promotional codes. Once you have that raw material secured on your own local hard drive, you can breathe a slight sigh of relief. You've rescued the furniture.
Okay.
The next phase is choosing the replacement, like Enatega, and then the reconstruction on the new platform.
Step 3. Rebuild. And this is where that massive database translation happens we talked about earlier. You aren't just typing in the names of dishes, you are re-architecting the entire flow of how a customer orders. The article mentions that systems like Enatega offer bulk import tools. How do those actually work?
So a bulk import tool essentially acts as a Rosetta Stone. You take your messy, exported spreadsheet from GloriaFood, and the new system provides a mapping interface.
Like matching columns.
Exactly. You tell the new software, column A from my old file equals the item name in your system, column B equals the base price. It automates the data entry. But, and this is crucial, you still have to manually verify the complex logic. You have to ensure that a customer can't accidentally order a pizza with negative cheese or bypass a required modifier.
Right, that would be a disaster for the kitchen. So
And-
once the menu is rebuilt, step
Yeah.
4, you have to tackle the physical logistics of the food actually leaving the building, the delivery configuration.
This phase is often where moving to a modern open source system actually provides a massive upgrade over older platforms, because the article emphasizes the need to configure custom delivery polygons.
Okay, let's break that down. A custom polygon isn't just dropping a pin and drawing a 5-mile circle around the restaurant, right?
No, not at all, because a crude 5-mile radius might include a river with no bridge, or a major highway that takes 30 minutes to cross during rush hour.
Oh, true.
A custom polygon allows the business to literally draw specific jagged lines on a digital map. They can say, we will deliver 3 miles to the north, but only 1 mile to the south because of traffic patterns. It ties directly into profitability by ensuring drivers aren't taking inefficient routes.
And that integrates directly with the rider applications. Like if they are using Enatega, it comes with a dedicated app for their delivery drivers. So the kitchen tablet talks directly to the driver's phone, dispatching them based on those exact geographic polygons.
Or, via API integration, it pushes that data to third-party delivery fleets if the restaurant doesn't employ its own drivers. The architecture is flexible, but it all relies on those foundational rules being built correctly during this phase.
Which naturally brings us to step 5, the customer's view of all this. The user experience, or UX. This is where the restaurant gets to brand their new house. The article details white labeling the apps and customizing the web interfaces.
Yes, white labeling is key.
For anyone unfamiliar with the term, white labeling is a universal tech concept. When you go to a local boutique's website and buy a shirt, the checkout process might be entirely powered by Shopify, but it looks like the boutique's custom website. The tech is invisible.
That invisible tech is the goal here. The restaurant uploads their specific hex color codes, their high-resolution logos, and configures automated SMS confirmations that come from their own branded caller ID. The customer should never know they are interacting with Enatega. They should only feel like they're interacting with their favorite local restaurant.
But before a single customer ever sees that branded app, you hit step 6. You have to verify that the entire Rube Goldberg machine actually works. The testing phase. And I have to say, this was my absolute favorite piece of advice in the entire TechCrunch article.
It's so practical.
It really is. They tell the owner to run a test order and check the dashboard, check the payment gateway, check the Rider app, but then they add a very specific instruction. Have a staff member test the app from their own personal phone to catch the edge cases.
It's brilliant in its practicality, honestly.
It grounds all of this high-level database architecture into the messy reality of a restaurant floor. The owner might know exactly how to navigate the app because they built it, but hand that app to a 19-year-old hostess who is trying to ring in a customized order on a cracked iPhone while the landline is ringing off the hook and the kitchen printer is screaming. That is your stress test.
Absolutely.
If she gets confused by the UI or if the payment gateway hangs up for 10 seconds, the system fails.
It's the ultimate validation of the user interface. Software has to survive the environment it's deployed in. If the testing phase exposes friction, you go back into the back end and simplify the modifier logic or adjust the button layout. You iterate until it's bulletproof.
And then finally, step 7, you throw the switch, the launch phase. You update your links and notify everyone.
Launching requires a coordinated digital update. The restaurant has to rip out the old GloriaFood HTML widgets embedded on their website and replace them with the new system's code. And they must update all the links on their Google business profile.
Which is massive. I mean, most people don't even go to a restaurant's website anymore. They just Google the name and click the Order Online button right there in the search results. If that link is dead, the customer just assumes the restaurant is closed and orders from somewhere else.
A broken link is literally lost revenue. So the deployment has to be instantaneous. The article also suggests a really smart adoption tactic here, which is offering a specific launch discount.
Oh, like a promo code.
Yeah, an aggressive promo code.
Yeah.
Like 20% off your first order on the new system. It incentivizes the customer base to download the new app or create a new login, which smooths over the friction of the transition.
And once the orders are flowing, you execute the final step, step 8, monitor and optimize. You go back, verify that the GloriaFood system is entirely disconnected, and you pull the plug on your end. You cancel any premium plans, you delete the old code, and you burn the boats. You have survived the digital eviction.
More than survived, honestly. By executing this migration thoughtfully, the business has fundamentally upgraded its operational resilience. They are no longer a tenant waiting for a bulldozer.
So what does this all mean? When we look at this entire saga, the initial convenience of the free platform, the Oracle acquisition, the silent countdown to April 2027, and the intense technical reality of rebuilding a digital storefront, the TechCrunch piece really crystallizes a harsh truth about the modern economy. GloriaFood's shutdown is not a freak accident. It is the standard operating procedure of the tech industry.
This cycle will repeat. A new, free tool will emerge. Businesses will become reliant on it. A conglomerate will acquire it, and eventually it will be sunset. The independent businesses that thrive won't be the ones scrambling in a panic every 3 years. The winners will be the ones who recognize this moment as a catalyst to take ownership of their own digital infrastructure.
It's a painful migration, but it buys you digital sovereignty.
It does. But, this raises an important question. We spent this deep dive dissecting the restaurant industry and online menus. But let's look at the listener's own digital life. Think about the infrastructure you rely on daily.
Oh, this is the scary part.
It is. Consider your business's primary cloud storage drive. Think about your company's internal communication tool, or even your personal email provider that holds a decade of your contacts and financial records. These are massive, critical foundations of your daily life. And for the vast majority of us, we don't own them.
We're just renting.
We are just renting space in a free, fully furnished apartment. If a tech giant decides tomorrow that your specific email platform or cloud service no longer serves their quarterly profit margins and they issue a silent shutdown date, well, how resilient is your foundation? Are you prepared to extract your data and build your own house, or are you just one corporate pivot away from losing everything?
That is a deeply unsettling yet absolutely necessary thought experiment. Because we are all tenants in the cloud right now, and very few of us actually know where our data physically lives. We just have to ensure we build our exit strategy before the landlord slips that eviction notice under the door. Thank you all for joining us on this deep dive into the silent tech crash. As always, keep questioning the systems you rely on, check your digital foundations, and we will catch you on the next one.